My name is Eithne Hogan, and I've essentially been teaching and instructing in technology for just under 30 years. I began with a lot of software applications, so essentially at that time it would have been the European Computer Driving Licence, the ECDL. And from there I found that I became far more interested in other technologies, and there was a need out there for people to become certified in other technologies as well. The jobs were coming into the IT sector. So I became trained in CompTIA certifications, for example in the A+, the Network+, in cybersecurity, in operating systems, for example in Linux, and also in Cisco certification, for example the CCNA, IT Essentials, Networking Essentials. It's what I'm interested in and it's what I do. So I would be very focused on ensuring that my knowledge is up to date. I don't sit back on it. I'm always learning myself. I would regard myself as a lifelong learner. And I would also regard myself as a reflective practitioner, so that after classes and after courses, I think about what I do and I reflect on it to see if there's anything I can tweak or change to improve it for the learner's experience. My IT knowledge is not just about content. It's about the delivery of the content. It's teaching and learning. And I want to be able to hand on heart know and understand that what I'm doing is helping to create the best IT technicians out there. So CompTIA Network Plus is building on the domains that are essentially in the CompTIA A+. So CompTIA Network Plus would be at a more advanced level than CompTIA A+. And the job roles are different. In other words, if you become certified with CompTIA Network Plus, you're then classified as a network administrator or network associate or server administrator. So the job roles are slightly different. The way I would explain the difference between CompTIA A+ and CompTIA Network Plus is, if you're an IT support technician as an A+ technician, you could be repairing and problem solving issues on a network from the workstation side. In other words, from the users on the network, the applications they're using, the hardware they're using, the devices they're using. But with this gradient and this additional knowledge, what you're now doing is you're now looking at the network from the server side. In other words, you're coming at it from a different perspective, so that you are now able to manage and monitor and configure all of the hardware and software on the actual domain. So the IT support technician can assist you in that, but in a sense, you have more responsibility in the design and infrastructure and makeup of the network. So it is at a higher level, but you're getting this overview of a domain, of a network, that you're able to handle the hardware, software, devices, any host, firewalls, anything that's sitting in on your network, and be able to configure, install, upgrade hardware and software on the domain that you're responsible for. When you study the CompTIA Network Plus, you're studying the makeup of a network. So you're studying the infrastructure to have a solid understanding of what devices, what cabling, what applications, the end devices that are in use on the user side, the devices that are coming from the server side, the way they're configured. In other words, what is a network? What makes a network? And then you're also looking at the security on the network, accessibility to devices on a network. In other words, users and devices, what permissions people should have when they're accessing the network. So there's the whole security side as well. So there's the network infrastructure, administration of the network, the security that's in place on the network, and the way all those things marry together so that you have a full understanding of what the job role is. A network administrator needs to be aware of the hardware, the applications, the software, the security, and the user's needs. In other words, you don't have a network that's devoid of users. You also have to interface with the people who are using the equipment and be able to understand the perspective of the user so that if there are problems on the network, you can then solve them for the users. So there's a lot of customer interaction or client interaction as well. The CompTIA Network Plus is very highly regarded in the IT industry. All of the CompTIA suite is very highly regarded, and they have an excellent suite of certificates that have been around for decades. So they've proved themselves in terms of time. They've stood the pace. I am aware of them for the last 30 years. And I know for a fact from any of the learners who have come through with any of the CompTIA products that they have been able to build themselves a very good career, a very positive life for themselves and their family. Successes from the Network Plus. Where do I begin? One of the things I love as an instructor is following up on how students get on when they complete their course. So I always ask that they keep in contact with me, and just because the course has ended, our communication hasn't. I love hearing the stories of where they have gone and how they've gotten on, not just in the exam. It's not just about the exam. It's how the course has changed their lives for the better. I have seen people who have had, with all due respect, from their own perspective, jobs that they couldn't see themselves creating a future in. And they were looking at a career, and they wanted this career. And I have seen people come from certain job roles where they feel perhaps a little bit trapped, maybe, or they don't see that future that they desire. And once they come in and they get their certification, and I'm in communication with them, like a couple of months down the road, 1 year down the road, 2 years down the road, they're telling me, by the way, Eithne, I got a promotion. I'm now team leader, or I'm now a manager in, or I'm now supervising in. And one thing I can definitely say from my own observations of people on the course is anyone who wants a career in IT will get it when they put down their head and they study and they focus on the material and they know where they're going. It's a combination of study and a sense of purpose. Knowing where you're going, having an idea of where you're going, carving out that pathway and putting the work in.